Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ka-Wai, cello professor at Utah Tech University. Today I'd like to share with you my insights for this upcoming UMEA All-State Orchestra Cello Audition excerpts. You have two excerpts, both by Shostakovich from Symphony No. 5. So first of all, make sure you listen to recordings, understanding the background, how the music was written, and certainly, accordingly, what style you get from this kind of music. The first excerpt is from movement number 3. There's a lot of accents in this music. The tempo is not too fast. So make sure that you articulate with the bow a lot, maybe also with the left hand vibrato as well. You might want to think about what Shostakovich was struggling in his life while he's writing the music. And back in Soviet Russia, he worked very hard to express himself, but sometimes there's suppression, a lot of pressure that didn't allow him to speak freely, and so the music become a language that he can really, almost like a secret language that sometimes sounding like heroic, but it's very maybe sad, maybe telling his own story underlined that no other people may easily know it unless you know the music. So this is how I can share with you the fingering, but definitely a lot of accent. Not a very long excerpt, it's not very fast, but the accent. Look that I used the bow speed to help me to do the accent. Now, as far as fingering choice, you can have your own options there. The one that I did that maybe some of you recognize, 2 bars before 91, I go to D string because I've got the 1, 2, 3. I don't need to shift back and forth. It's very secure. The only disadvantage is it's harder to speak loud on D string, so you really need lots of enough pressure, enough weight on it. But it's actually fitting the music quite well that D string is not the easiest string to express, but you almost the emotion is not that easy to express. It's very from inside. You may not hear it in volume, but it's so strong. And then once I hit there, and then I go to D string to get that harmonic A. So that gives me a very strong assurance to get that high A. If I get the harmonic from the thumb, the other harmonics is a high A. I could vibrate it, but I could start with harmonics. So you can look at the fingering that I have and just make sure this whole movement, the sound is always sustained. And we're not talking about Mozart. We're not talking about very beautiful sound. So I think we can have a little bit more edgy sound. Go to excerpt number 2. This one is much faster. So the challenge is, how can you fit in all those notes? So one recommendation for you for the first 2 lines is to try to play not double notes, but single note. Sorry, that D flat there. And so that you really know the left hand when to come in. The other thing you want to practice, perhaps, is open string, just to get that bow stroke. Notice that I didn't use too much bow, because then it will be very hard to have the sustained sound. But I want to make sure that it's also not too close to the fingerboard, so we can really have that powerful sound to come out, And then from 107 onwards, those eighth note, they are not supposed to be just legato, right? So one practice for you to try is to make sure you have really strong, clear left hand matching with the right hand. So practice really slowly, note by note. So you might find that this is like, a very dry sound, right? But when you practice that much of that clarity or bite or attack of the note, when you play it faster, it would be just right. Because you have the focus of the notes, and otherwise it might sound very unclear, and that's something we want to avoid. As far as fingering goes, I tend to go up to the high position, right? And then, yeah, because that way I don't have to go back and forth. If I go with the flats, it's very difficult to stay on the first position. You'll be back and forth. The intonation will be harder. On the other hand, the high position had that kind of darker sound. Again, when we play this kind of music, we want to make sure the choice of fingering, the vibrato, the bow stroke, and articulation match what the music is asking for. In this case, it's somebody who live in wartime during a difficult political environment and be able to try to express himself through music. And so now how to work on that slowly, in this case 107, dotted rhythm. The hardest thing I want to remind you at the third bar 109, the pattern change right here is, but this time it's not the same thing, right? Right, it's not. So make sure you know that, and then you can do the other way. Right, and you can do a lot of those different rhythm, right? You can do. That is the biggest part that is tricky. That's why I use the first finger here, the octave. That's a big difficult shift. So the left hand preparation has to be a little ahead of time, anticipation. But if you start slowly, and don't forget with your metronome, and then you gradually get faster. So this one would be like this. Good luck with your all-state audition. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and I'll be happy also to share with you my fingering as well.